Hello friends, we all know that sometimes road incidents are just unavoidable, and that's why having a good dashcam is essential. But let's face it, most dashcams either have poor video quality or block your view. In this video I'll show you a sleek 4K dashcam from Mangoal, fully integrated into the rear view mirror housing. It powers directly from the rain sensor and can include a rear camera too. I'll show you just how easy it was to install not only the front camera but also the rear one on this 2021 Corolla, but first let's start with a short unboxing. This is the box you'll receive after ordering the product. All you have to do is visit the website, you'll find the link in the description. Browse and choose the product that fits your car. I'll select Corolla and Hybrid Model B and you'll see why in a second. For this Corolla there are only two mirror housing types. My car has Model B. If you're not sure which one you have, just send a photo of your mirror housing to the Mangoal team, they'll help you out. Next, choose between the standard 4K version or the one that includes a rear camera. I'm going with the rear camera as well, it's super useful and as you'll see, incredibly easy to install. At checkout, don't forget to use the discount code shown in the video, you can copy it straight from the description. It would be a shame to miss out. Inside the box, you'll find a simple installation manual dedicated to the Corolla, but you won't need it because I filmed everything myself, and a troubleshooting guide. I didn't have any issues neither on iOS nor on Android. Here we have the camera, which comes together with the mirror housing. The camera lens is on the front, protected by a sticker. On the bottom we have the power and capture buttons and the LEDs that indicate the operating status. As for the cables, you only need to care about this connector for the rear camera and this one, which powers both cameras from the rain sensor. Mangoal even includes a 128GB microSD card, more than enough for 4K recordings. You also get a plastic trim tool, extremely useful, and the adapter for powering everything from the rain sensor. Here we also have the rear camera with a single connector that plugs into the one I showed you earlier. You also get a manual with instructions for the smartphone app, but everything is intuitive and I'll show you that part as well in the tutorial. So first I'll remove the rear part of the camera housing, it unclips very easily. Then I'll slide my fingers in here and remove the same component from the original mirror housing, which comes off just as easily. Now all you have to do is push the housing downward and it will unclip without any problem. Next I will unplug the gray connector by pressing the locking tab. I will plug this one into the port on the adapter from the box. It's the only female connector with the correct size. The male connector from the adapter will of course go into the port on the rain sensor. Make sure to push it in until you hear the locking tab click. Now we can power the camera by plugging the power plug into the female port on the adapter. The mirror housing clipped in incredibly fast, just make sure the wires aren't in the way of the clips. I've installed a lot of these cameras and I have to say Toyota has the most user-friendly design. I'll tuck all the wires behind the last piece of the housing. I'll leave the rear camera connector outside because I'm going to install that one as well. If you change your mind, you can leave it unconnected, the front camera will work just fine without the rear one. Of course, you can also choose to order only the 4K front camera from the beginning, it won't come with this extra connector. You can insert the microSD card into the push to open slot before installation. Let's turn on the ignition and check if the front camera is working. And everything looks good. Now let's install the rear camera. Obviously, you first need to plug the rear camera connector into the power port I left outside and feed the cable under the headliner. Then I use the plastic trim tool to slightly pry open the A-pillar cover, just enough to slide the cable in. Next I ran it under the weather seal all the way to the B-pillar. At the B-pillar I did the same as with the A-pillar. Same method at the trim between the C and D pillars because this Corolla is the station wagon version with a hatchback. On the sedan version, the route is much shorter and doesn't require running the cable from the cabin all the way into the tailgate. After reaching the D pillar, I continued under the headliner until I got to this rubber grommet, the one that holds all the cables going into the tailgate. I unclipped the lower part and just loosened the upper rubber boot. Now I'll insert the connector and use the trim tool as a hook to pull the cable through. To pass the connector through the grommet, I didn't use a guide wire, I just compressed and stretched the rubber boot until it came out the other side. Now we open this panel and pull the cable inside the tailgate. I'm done with the grommet, so I'll put everything back the way it was. To avoid removing the entire tailgate cover, I decided to make a small semi-circular notch in the wiring access panel using a drill. First, I'll stick the rear camera in its final position so I know exactly where the cable will go, making sure the lens is perfectly centered. I'll mark where I'll drill the notch, then unclip the cover to keep it stable. You'll get a much more precise cut if you keep the drill steady. I then sanded the cutout on both sides to avoid any risk of the cable being damaged by vibrations. And we've got a perfect fit. Now I'll connect the camera to the cable I ran from the front, use a zip tie to secure any excess wire and connectors, and the rear camera install is complete. Let me know in the comments if you think the installation was complicated or not. Personally, I think it was pretty simple. Now let's see how the cameras look from the outside. Honestly, if I didn't know better, I'd say these are stock. Installing the app is very simple. It's called SkyCam and you'll find it on both the App Store and Play Store. After installing it, grant the required permissions and follow the on-screen instructions. With the car running or just the ignition on, connect to the camera's Wi-Fi. The default password is 12345678. Then tap Add Camera and you're all set. You can now watch a live preview of exactly what both cameras are recording. This is the rear camera and this is the front camera. Here's the settings menu. In my opinion, the most important ones are the video resolution and clip duration. Under camera files, you'll find all the recordings stored on the microSD card and you can watch, download or even edit them right from the app. You can explore the rest on your own. I've already made this video a bit too long and I really want you to see some real footage from these cameras. Alright folks, that's it for the footage, and that wraps up the presentation of this product. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and give a like to support the effort I put into making this video. And most importantly, let me know in the comments what you think about these cameras, what you like, what you don't, whether you think they're too expensive or anything else you want to share. Bye bye!